Jai Shila Prabhupada, Hare Krishna Nama Prabhu Ki Jai. Welcome all of you. I hope you're all enjoying the new way of chanting or the right way of chanting and hearing. Instead of separating them, you have to chant, come here. You have to chant and know that very chant. So this way you will find a very pleasant energy in your heart and mind, which will want you to do bead after bead, bead after bead. And this pleasant taste is nothing but the taste of devotion service. It is given by the Nama Prabhu to the chanter. And that has the power to change old habits, even overnight. Now you understand why somebody asked a question, how can it change overnight? It can change overnight because you're being free from the offense of inattentive chanting, and the Lord is very pleased. Immediately you get the taste of devotion service. It's something that they actually, in the depth of their heart, the living entity wants to relish that taste of serving the Lord. So therefore I say this is a taste of divine doing, divine knowing and divine tasking. I'll show one graphic. Rain. There is a what happens when you do chanting, come hearing. You can see this way of chanting is completely different from the other kind of chanting where you are continuously trying to drag the knowing attention from thinking, and again it goes off there, and again you bring it. So there's so much of self-control required, and this kind of self-control is very, very tiring for the mind, and that is why we feel sleepy, because we don't do concurrent chanting come hearing. That is why we feel sleepy. So now you see this picture that I have made. The Lord's mercy is descending. Namavatara's mercy is descending like rain of mercy. Isolated chanting and isolated hearing is like keeping your vessel upside down. You cannot collect the water, so you won't feel that energy at all. You don't feel that pleasantness at all. Concurrent chanting come hearing is like keeping the vessel up, right side up, and it gives us that empowerment, that satisfaction of having attentively chanted and offered the service to the Lord. Go to the next slide. Make it bigger, please. Yes, just see here now. You have the head bead on the left side. You start with bead 1. Micro chesta. That means for one bead there's a small effort being put for chanting and linked hearing. That means you have to put doing effort for chanting and knowing effort for hearing that same chant. Chesta is required. Then in between is a tasking chesta. What is tasking chesta? I think earlier, if you have read my earlier modules, I already described that. It is There we have a goal of finishing 108. So tasking means just like chanting on each bead is an unit task. It's a unit of activity, or you can call it a unit action. And many such unit actions put together is called activity. Bead 1 to bead 108 is an activity. So connecting each action to next action and continuing it, that is called tasking to reach the goal. So tasking always has a target. So between the two beats, you have to take that tasking effort to go to the next beat. These are all small things that we need to learn how to observe in our heart. Once we observe, we are done. Means you have to observe this chesta is actually a soul's effort. It's a soul offering of chesta, which is different from doing effort. Knowing effort is different, doing effort is different. Just think about it. Everything I cannot explain. You read the modules, think about it and capture that idea of doing effort and knowing effort. Doing effort automatically releases doing attention on what you are doing, and knowing effort releases knowing attention on what you are doing. So in this way, bead after bead, you go, and this is a sequence of training for the mind that you have to chant and hear in a linked manner. So I'll just see some for the encouragement for everybody. This training, one of the responses I got, this training module 35th is really wonderful. I started following it 4 days back and result is surreal. I always used to get fatigued and sleepy during japa, and I am amazed it is not happening anymore. The task is to concurrently chant and hear. Now, if it does not happen, there is immediately a slight signal that attention is missing and need to be brought back. Slowly a guilt is setting in if a bead mantra is unheard. Previously it was all a guilt-free, mindless experience. After 12th round, I do feel little struggle again, but I am trying to practice it. Yes, you have just begun. So old habits just, if 12th round you got off, means the old habit took over. That is why changing the habit requires considerable time. There is a reason why I have given 12 weeks time. I will explain to you. It is based on some experiments performed by NASA on how our doing habits change. I hope you also saw all that yesterday's video you have seen. That also gives an idea of changing habits. Then this really works, and it is not just simple class. Soulful Japa is extraordinary and can change the whole Japa experience. So this is one feedback. Now there is another question that I got, and actually I have answered in the telegram. Is also connected to this explanation, to this thing. Today Soulful Japam, okay. I have been hearing the module and read 34th and 35th module on Telegram. One striking thing that made a difference in my chanting is what you said, that chanting and hearing, knowing are two different activities. They are not two different activities, but they are one. With this in mind, the chanting is so stressless. See, this is very important. Everybody feels this. When you consider it as two different activities, it does make it a slight difficult task, and hence you give excuses to chant at a certain time, place, etc. Your mind says that other activities has priority and chanting needs to be done when they are all settled. But I had a question. Will this also be like the gardener's newness to chanting? Will this also wean away after some time? This is a very relevant question. And you should know, the answer to this very well, because you are also going to have the same doubt. And the good news is that you don't have to worry. That's the first answer. You don't have to worry. Once you train your mind, even if it gets newness is gone, it will continue to be attentive chanting. Reason being, even though you require training to concurrently do these two things, concurrently do and know each bead, you need training. But training itself is not the final thing. What is the consequence of that concurrent doing? When there is a concurrent doing and knowing, there is a release of pleasant energy from Nama Prabhu. So whether, no doubt, we are training the background mind to automatically link each. But the end result is what? They are linked together. You are chanting and you are knowing your chant. Finish. Once you do that, then energy flow is there. So let that become, linking become automatic. It is meant to become automatic. That is why we are trying to train. But whenever, whether it is due to newness or whether it is due to training, when chanting and knowing that very chant happens on the same sound, there is this release of transcendental energy, which makes it very pleasant to chant and hear each bead. So then I have okay. So anyway, the time it takes to completely change the old habit is about 90 days. NASA had done some experiments with astronauts, because when they go into the space, the gravity, all those, they have to condition them. They studied how the mind adapts to the new environment and new situations. So what they did was they gave goggles to the astronauts, the convex goggles, which will make each image upside down. And they have to wear it even during sleep. Continuously they have to wear it. So what was happening? They were seeing the world upside down. And naturally the mind has to reinterpret the image in order to see the world as it should be seen. So it was continuously doing this. Mind was engaged in this. And 29th day, he removed the goggles. Again, the habit had not changed. You are directly seeing. Normal world you are seeing. But then after 30 days, when the goggles were removed, you are reversing the whole world upside down, the other way around. Because it has become a habit now. What you see, you should reverse 180 degrees. And later on, some more experiments they have done where on a long-term habits can be changed if this continues for 90 days. Now, in our case also, you see this doing is something, how we do our japa, our behavior, it's a behavioral change. What do you do with your knowing attention? What do you do with your doing attention? Every time the knowing attention goes away for thinking, to pull it each time and bring it is not the way to do japa. It is very strenuous. So the solution is, first thing is, you should not allow your attention, you should lock your attention on the very sound. After allowing it to go to some thinking, if you bring it, Again it will go, again it will go, it becomes very tiring. So to lock the attention as a knowing of the very sound is the sure solution for holding the attention. Many others have also experienced this, and by Nama Prabhu's mercy, today I completed 16 rounds in 2 hours 16 minutes. So average it took 8.5 minutes each. That means with those reading those quotes. 8 rounds before Mangalarti, 8 rounds after Mangalarti. Now also I feel like continuing my rounds. Very good experience. Yesterday also I did the same. My question is there a variation in chanting time? How much variation can happen? During training time, be flexible. Be flexible. And I want to give you the good news that some devotee has already taken those golden quotes from Prabhupada's lectures, and they have made sound file. Soon I will be posting it in the Japa module, in the Telegram module, and so that we can hear Prabhupada saying directly. And if you can coordinate something like that with your phone, where you instead of you reading, in fact in my instruction I have written there, you should hear Srila Prabhupada by reading. I said, okay, if you can hear directly is very good. Just on that audio clip and then hear Prabhupada saying chant, hear that very chant he is saying. That portion alone you take and you hear before you start each round. 3 times you hear. So that is also, I'll be posting that, and it's very inspiring, because you just see, you are hearing Prabhupada's direct instruction and you are repeating that instruction and you are following his instruction how to do japa. You cannot go wrong. As Prabhupada said, you see how you will advance. Prabhupada is challenging how you will advance. So today's questions you take out, please. One more good news, he says, I would like to share. During DT Darshan, Guru Puja, Kirtan, Srimad Bhagavatam class, my attention is increased multifold. Even if some thought surfaces on the mind, immediately there is a background conscious mind that alert me to neglect the thought. So there is no thought processing or thinking. Accept this. So this is very true. Those who do this chanting, come hearing, you'll be surprised that their concentration increases 100 times. Because after all, 16 rounds they're doing. 1,000, it's nothing. It's not a small mental exercise, even if you take it as a mental exercise. So much concentration. If anybody speaks to you, then you're very sharp in hearing. So, questions. Today's question. While I am attempting to chant and hear at the same time, I modulated my voice so that my hearing is not distracted due to monotonous chanting. Is it okay? Now, first of all, if you accurately understand this, while I am attempting to chant and hear, if you chant and hear that very chant, please understand that hearing, change your definition of hearing as a doing, chanting and knowing that sound. Try to not only hear the classes here, you please read those modules very clearly. You need to understand what I am trying to say. Okay. Next. What is the significance of Srila Prabhupada Japa in the background? I'm a bit concerned on ignoring the pure devotee voice and only chant and hear the same my own voice. Please clarify. Why? Because you are following Prabhupada's instruction. Prabhupada has given us an instruction. What is the meaning of japa? Japa means you have to hear what you chant. You chant and hear what you chant. That is Prabhupada's instruction. Why you are sentimental? Whatever Prabhupada said, you should do. And Prabhupada chanting Hare Krishna is an association. Just like Prabhupada is also doing japa. We are conditioned to auto-tasking after each mantra. This tasking needs conscious knowing or observation. Yeah, you need to feel a sense of build-up of numbers. So, a lot of questions like this will come on tasking. Because I have not. Let us simply focus on this now first. And tasking, just like I have explained about this, about chanting and knowing the chant, there is a secret that is revealed by Prabhupada in tasking also. The tasking itself will become, a wonderful experience. If we have to decide this to quote for 6 months, first the process is that you chant Hare Krishna and exactly the same sound you hear. Chanting, you simply hear when you say Hare Krishna, you try to hear that very sound Hare Krishna, nothing more. This is meditation. So what's your question? Okay. How to lock attention on the current chant? That's exactly what we have been talking about. How to lock attention is by a linking direction from the background. Either because now you don't have that linking direction from the background trained, therefore from outside you keep a printout, or just before chanting you load that in your background mind, and as per that direction you should. If the background mind is not directing, you cannot lock it. So before that you need to perceive this knowing attention and doing attention through so many examples. I have given so many examples. Table tennis I gave example about eating, that's chewing and tasting. I gave example of me talking now. What I am talking I am knowing also. Take so many examples and you observe that this has to be together if there is concentration. Tomorrow I'll talk about what is this concentration. How much fast is good in chanting? As long as you can hear properly, that's good enough. That's a fast chanting. Not at the cost of not hearing. It really helped us to change our historical behavior by practicing the same as per your direction. Thank you. It really works. Then, okay, is all everybody's positive comments. I'm not going into it. Yes. When we think, we do thinking and know the thought. Is this understanding correct? When we think, we do thinking and know the thought. Is this understanding correct? If so, then thinking interrupts both chanting and hearing. Yeah, you are right. Exactly. Thinking is also like chanting and hearing are two things. If you are engaged in a thought process, you are doing and knowing. What you are doing? You are reorganizing the thoughts. You are chatting. Actually, thinking is a chat between your mind and your intelligence. So your intelligence gives different solutions. Your mind checks out. It says yes or no. If it says no, then the intelligence goes back, processes again. Then you give another, okay, why not I do like this? This is a continuous chat is going on, thought processing. So thought processing requires your 100% doing attention and knowing attention. That is the reason if you engage in thinking, you're gone. Even doing attention will go away and you will do just automatic chanting. What is this automatic chanting? That is mind and body put together. It will just repeat. Krishna does not want auto chanting. Krishna wants chanting from your heart. You are not the body. Okay, you are giving the body, no problem. At least it is, instead of doing something else, it is continuously chanting. But if that kind of auto chanting is not what Krishna wants. Krishna wants devotion. Krishna wants conscious attention. Even a tape recorder can do auto chanting. Automatic chanting. Just like you brush your teeth, it's automatic. No consciousness is required. So Krishna does not want that kind of thing, automatic. He wants you and your attention during japa. Not it just wants your body, your tongue, your inside subtle body is automatic. Some people think that it's great. You can train yourself continuously. You're chanting, but actually it is offensive. The Lord is there, then you have to. If you can do 24 hours chanting Kirtaniya Sada Hari with attention, no problem. But you are going on automatically chanting and doing so many things, no attention on the Nama Prabhu, it is offensive chanting. So you have to be very careful about it. Not a big achievement if you do automatic chanting. Anything in 6 months, you can do automatic chanting, including beading, moving the Sakshi Mala, everything. My first round is always good, a natural taste, no background thought, attention locked. But rest of the rounds are always varying attention. What is the reason? How to correct that? Please, you follow what is being told. In between all these things, you yourself will find an answer to all these things. Just simply follow what is written in the training module. Sometimes the bead itself becomes a doing, and the mind starts preparing for that doing rather than focus on chanting towards the end. How to improve from this? Now, see, the thing is, ultimately, if you see our chanting, there are many things which have to happen automatic. Your finger, you don't have to be conscious about finger moving to the next bead. That is not it mean that you want that's not the meaning of saying that you have to consciously chant or attentively chant. There are many things that the mind gets trained. So without training of the mind, in so many things, in other words, without using the trained mind also to help you, you cannot do your japa. Trained mind is also part of it. Okay, is knowing is the same as acknowledging or observing? No, knowing, see, observing in a little difference is there. It is like that, but it's not exactly that, because your attention is on the details. You want to know. Know means not plain awareness, means no judgment, nothing. But then when you are seeing Hare, you are differentiating Hare from Krishna, Krishna and Rama. Each word you are differentiating. Knowing means knowing and recognizing. I can say not acknowledging, but knowing and recognizing this sound. This is Hare, this is Rama, this is Krishna. That is knowing. I started practice, but it still takes me effort to keep my attention on doing and knowing. Is the same. Where did it go? Doing and knowing. Started practice, but still it makes my efforts to keep my attention on doing and knowing. When I start looking DT and chant, my attention comes back. How I need to go about? Your question is not clear. Okay, so I have got 5 minutes and I will please read module 36 and 37 I have posted. It'll be good if you read these things and come and ask very specific questions for clarification. Now I'll give you one example before we leave. Every day I don't want it to crowd you with too many concepts. Even one concept if you get, that's good enough. Yesterday I told you this concept about the energy coming from the Nama Avatara is what actually helps us to change our habit so fast. Otherwise, for next day itself to do just like that, you saw that how that person who was driving this reverse handle bicycle in the video, he just can't move even 5 feet, 10 feet he cannot move. But we just start today. Tomorrow you start concurrent chanting and hearing, you're able to do. That is because of the Nama Prabhu's mercy. So that was the main takeaway yesterday. Today I'll give you another example for you to understand the difference between doing effort and knowing effort, or doing attention and knowing attention. Both are same. Doing effort releases knowing attention. Doing effort releases doing attention. Knowing effort releases knowing attention. It's a subtle thing that I want to know, I want to do. So that is called chesta. Okay. So let us say there is a nut and a bolt. What do you need to remove a nut and a bolt? You need a spanner. If you want to remove a screw, you need a screwdriver. Right? Can you use a spanner to remove the screw? You cannot. Can you use a screwdriver to remove nut and bolt? You cannot. So the spanner and screwdriver are like two different tools meant for two different things. Similarly, doing effort is meant for a particular thing and knowing effort is meant for something else. Doing effort is for chanting, knowing effort is for hearing. And if I try to use my, doing effort to hear, what is it? Frustration, isn't it? I'm trying to remove a bolt with a screwdriver. It'll never work. It's exactly in the same way. If you think that hearing is a doing, then in your heart you're trying to hear. You don't know what is the definition of hearing, trying to hear. And so much fatigue it brings. It's not. You need to know it's a knowing attention. So remember these two examples. And suppose now I give you another thing, another solution, another scenario. Suppose I have fixed two pieces together with a screw and a nut in the other end. It's tightened. Now if I had to remove, I need both screwdriver on this side and spanner on the other side. Combined I can loosen it. So there is a place where both are required. So in the same way, japa requires both doing effort and knowing effort simultaneously applied on each sound. And the reason why we get so frustrated and our mind goes off and the attention goes away, keeps going away, because we are using the screwdriver to remove a bolt. We are using doing effort to hear. You will never hear. You will never hear by trying to doing effort. By trying to do hearing. You cannot do hearing. You have to know hearing. Because it is a jnana indriya. It's very, very, very fundamental to this discovery. Now, focusing on one instruction, somebody tells you, no, you should only hear. The problem with your chanting is you are not hearing, they'll say. The next day you are determined. Continuously you give your effort to hear. It all goes off again. Failed. Or somebody says, no, you should consciously, distinctly chant. Distinctly chant. Okay, full effort to distinctly chant. You are giving only doing effort. Again, you fail. So, we should not overemphasize. We should understand that it is a linked up activity, chanting and knowing that chanting. Doing effort to chant, knowing effort to do. So, when done together, there is no mental fatigue, there is no self-control required. Otherwise, continuously self-control to bring the attention back becomes such a big drain of mental energy. It is supposed to be very pleasing japa, not tiring, sleepy, making you sleepy. See what happens when the mind is fatigued, no, it wants to sleep. That means you're trying to hear in a wrong way. So I have explained this in the module 37 and 36. You please read that further. Tomorrow we will again meet. I'll be talking about what is concentration. Little more. 2 terms I will be introducing tomorrow, which will give a very clear idea of more. I'm trying to make you understand more and more that mind has got 2 faculties, knowing and doing, and both together, when they work together only, it is called concentration. Tomorrow we'll discuss that. Before that, I'll be posting another module on concentration. Okay, today itself I'll post. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.